You're staring at your account balance again. $127. It's been 6 months. 6 months of grinding, journaling every trade, following your rules like they're scripture. Your win rate sits at a respectable 55%. Your risk management is textbook perfect. You haven't blown up, haven't revenge traded, haven't done any of the stupid things beginners do. You've done everything right. And yet here you are, stuck at the exact same account size you started with, watching the number crawl upward with the speed of continental drift. Meanwhile, you scroll through Twitter and see traders posting screenshots of $10,000 accounts, $50,000 accounts, guys who started the same time you did, but somehow found a way to actually grow. The question burns in your chest every single day. What am I doing wrong? You know the feeling. That slow building frustration that sits just beneath your ribs. It's not the sharp panic of a blown account or the sick anxiety of a revenge trade. It's worse. It's the dull, grinding realization that you're in a cage of your own making. You tell yourself you're being responsible. You're building slowly. You're doing it the right way. 1% risk per trade. Never more. Stay disciplined. Stay safe. But 6 months in, you've made $50. $50. You could have made more working a single shift at literally any job. And the worst part? You're starting to wonder if this is just who you are. The perpetual small account trader. The guy who knows how to trade, but will never actually make money from it. So you diagnose the problem. Maybe your strategy isn't good enough yet. Maybe you need a higher win rate. Maybe there's some edge everyone else has that you haven't discovered. Maybe you just need more time, more patience, more discipline. Just keep grinding at this size until the account naturally grows into something meaningful. What if I told you that every single one of those diagnoses is wrong? What if the real problem has nothing to do with your strategy, your win rate, or your discipline? But here's what most traders don't realize. The mindset that keeps you safe at $100 is the exact same mindset that guarantees you'll never reach 10,000, let alone a million. The psychological patterns protecting your account from blowing up are the same patterns strangling your growth. And every single day you spend reinforcing this mindset, you're not being careful. You're building a cage, one safe trade at a time. Your brain wasn't designed for this. It evolved over millions of years to keep you alive on the African savanna, not to accumulate wealth in financial markets. In that environment, loss avoidance was everything. One mistake, one wrong decision, and you became something's lunch. Your ancestors who survived weren't the risk takers. They were the ones who played it safe, who protected what little they had, who feared loss more than they desired gain. That wiring is still inside your skull, firing the exact same way it did 50,000 years ago. And it's destroying your trading career. Here's what's really happening when you risk 1% per trade on a $100 account. Your amygdala, the ancient fear center of your brain, sees that dollar as scarce resource. You don't have many of them. Every single one matters. So your brain shifts into protection mode. This isn't trading psychology. It's neuroscience. Research from Princeton shows that when humans operate under perceived scarcity, their cognitive bandwidth drops by 13 to 14 IQ points. You're literally getting dumber because you're trading scared. Loss aversion studies prove that humans feel losses 2.5 times more intensely than equivalent gains. That $3 loss on your small account doesn't feel like 3%. It feels like catastrophe. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. 2 traders, identical strategies, identical 60% win rates, 1.5 to 1 risk reward. Alex risks 1% per trade, makes $1.50 per win, loses $1 per loss. After 100 trades, 60 wins, and 40 losses, his account grows from $100 to $110. 6 months of perfect execution for $10. Jordan risks 3% per trade, makes $450 per win, loses 3 per loss. Same 100 trades, same win rate. Her account grows from 100 to 130. Same time frame, same skill level, 18% better results. More importantly, Jordan's brain is learning to think in percentages, not dollars. She's training psychological capital, while Alex is reinforcing scarcity thinking. Most traders confuse small position sizing with good risk management. They think they're being disciplined, when really, they're just being terrified. This is where most traders make the fatal mistake. They wait for the account to grow before they scale their psychology. But it doesn't work that way. Your comfort zone doesn't expand automatically with your account balance. If you can't handle risking $3 today, you won't handle risking $3,000 tomorrow. The fear doesn't disappear. It compounds. Here's the brutal truth about what happens when you stay locked in small account thinking. Let's run the numbers over 5 years. Trader A, the responsible one, starts with $100 and maintains that safe mindset. Year 1, he grows 50%. Sounds great until you realize that's $50 total. Year 2, another 50% gain on $150 becomes $75 gained. Year 3, 50% of $225 nets $115. Fast forward 5 years of consistent profitability, and he's sitting at $765. 5 years. Nearly 2,000 days of discipline, stress, and screen time. And he still can't quit his day job. Now let's look at Trader B. Same win rate, same strategy, same starting capital. But she thinks in percentages from day one. She scales her risk with her account, adds capital strategically when she hits psychological plateaus, and treats her $100 account like it's already worth $1 million. Year 1, $300. Year 2, $1,200. Year 3, $5,000. Year 4, $15,000. Year 5, she's crossing $50,000 and actually making life-changing money. The difference isn't talent, it's mindset. This is where it gets ugly. Studies from major Forex brokers show that 92% of retail traders never grow their accounts beyond $5,000. The average profitable retail trader, after 3 years of grinding, makes less than $300 per month. Prop firms report that 67% of funded traders pass their challenges, but never scale past the minimum account size. They get the capital, prove they can trade, and then psychologically freeze. Why? Because they spent years training themselves to think small. The death spiral looks like this. Month 1, you risk 1% because you're being smart. Month 6, your account is slightly bigger, but you don't scale risk because it's not time yet. Month 12, you've proven consistency, but now you're too scared to mess it up. Month 18, small position sizing becomes your identity. You're a conservative trader. Month 24, a perfect trend develops, the setup of the year, and you can't psychologically execute with proper size. You take your usual position and make pennies while the market hands out fortunes. Month 36, you realize you've wasted 3 years proving you can trade, but you still can't make meaningful money. But there's a way out, and it starts with understanding that the millionaire mindset isn't about account size. It's about treating every account like it's already worth $1 million. The traders who make it to 7 figures don't have better strategies than you. Their win rates are only 2 to 4 percentage points higher on average. What they have is psychological capital tolerance, and they built it early. Here's the framework that separates stuck traders from scaling traders. 3 non-negotiable principles. First, percentage thinking over dollar thinking. Professional traders never think in dollars. A $10 loss on $100 is 10%, which is unacceptable. A $1,000 loss on $10,000 is also 10%, equally unacceptable. The percentage is the only metric that matters. If you can't internalize this, you'll never scale. Second, train your psychology while mistakes are cheap. You must force your nervous system to handle proper position sizing before you have large accounts. Risk a minimum of 2% per trade? Yes, even on a $100 account. If you can't sleep risking $2, you'll never sleep risking $2,000. The skill isn't making money. It's being comfortable with the risk required to make money. Third, scale risk with account size, never with dollar amounts. At $100, risk 2 to 3. At $1,000, risk 20 to 30. At $10,000, risk 200 to 300. The percentage stays constant. Your comfort zone expands. But what if you blow your account? Here's the reality. If 2% risk per trade blows your account, your strategy doesn't have an edge. Better to discover that with $100 than with $10,000. The market doesn't care about your position size. It only cares whether you have an edge. And if you do have an edge, proper position sizing doesn't blow accounts. It builds them. The objection reveals the problem. You're still thinking like a dollar protector instead of a percentage trader. The millionaire mindset isn't about how much money you have. It's about how you treat the money you're trading. Risk 2% on 100 today, and when you have 100,000 tomorrow, you'll risk 2% there too. Not because the money doesn't matter, but because the percentage is the only thing that ever mattered. The market doesn't reward caution disguised as discipline. It rewards traders who understand that appropriate risk is the price of admission, and psychological capital comes before financial capital. That's not recklessness. That's how professionals think. And if you want professional results, you start thinking that way today.